I'm Susan Odell. Welcome to the Foodell Kitchen. Root vegetables can help people survive the harshest of winters because they're so hardy and they've got a lot of great nutrients. The beautiful thing about them is that they will store for a long, long time in a cool, dark place, and they taste really good and are versatile to boot. So let's have a look at some of the more common varieties that you're going to be using on a regular basis. So your common root vegetables are carrots, beets, parsnips, rutabagas, or Swedes as they're called in some countries, and turnips. I consider those kind of your basic root vegetables that you should be able to find all year long, certainly all winter long, if not the entire year round. Tuberous roots, or tubers, are potatoes, and you're also going to use these a lot. We got a couple different kinds and they're used in different ways, so we'll have a look at those also. I just happen to have some nice beautiful spring radishes here too, since it's that time of year. You can get winter radishes too, the big daikon radishes, but these you just want to eat raw. When you're buying root vegetables, if you can, possibly buy it with the greens still attached. I've got my beets here. You can tell the freshness of the beets by the freshness of the greens, same with the carrots. So when I see that I've got a nice bright leaf that's still intact and not turning brown, I know my beets are fresh. Now the thing though is that if you buy them with the leaves attached, as soon as you get home, chop them off. You want the beet to be separate from the leaves when you get home, because the leaves have a tendency to leach out moisture from the root. So store them this way. Most greens you can also eat. They're really delicious. This is considered a full food because not only is it packed with nutrients, you can eat both the root and the leaf. It's great in stir fries. Just chop it up nicely and give it a quick cook, maybe a little garlic and lemon. Absolutely delicious. Most root vegetables, and I'm thinking beets and carrots, certainly turnips and parsnips and rutabagas, lend themselves to being roasted. When you roast a root vegetable, it brings out the extra sweetness that's in there. And they roast it all about the same time because they're all very hearty, very dense vegetables. You can also boil them, but roasting really makes a difference as far as flavor is concerned. The only thing you need to be concerned with is this little guy, the beet, because it will make a big mess. It's going to get color all over the place. The good news is it's beautiful on the plate. The bad news is it'll stain your clothing. It'll stain your fingers, but only for a little while, so don't worry too much about that. You can always wear a little rubber glove or something while you're peeling them after you've cooked them if you're worried about getting it on your hands. Potatoes are probably the most commonly used of all root vegetables. They're tubers or tuberous roots in some cases. This is a sweet potato, and some people think they're called yams. There's a difference between a sweet potato and a yam. What we have in the United States and in most Western countries are actually sweet potatoes. A yam is something that's grown almost exclusively in South America, maybe some tropical environments, and it's much more like a yucca or a cassava. It's more bitter and not at all like the sweet orange fleshed potatoes that we get in our store. So these are sweet potatoes, not yams. The other potatoes you're going to see and use on a regular basis are boiling potatoes, which have a thin skin. These are red and these are white, obviously. These are actually yellow. It's a Yukon Gold variety. These are creamier potatoes. They have a lower starch content than russet potatoes or baking potatoes, and so they hold up well when you boil them. They'll tend to keep their shape. Baking potatoes, or russet, they're sometimes called Idaho potatoes. Idaho potato is actually a brand name, and they're not that easy to find, but russet potatoes you can find all the time. It's got a nice thick outer skin, tastes delicious, it's got a lot of nutrients in it. You can either peel it or eat the skin, either way. And they're great for baking because they've got that nice, soft, high starch mixture inside that lends itself to being mashed and creates just such a delicious texture. So this is just a really broad brush overview of root vegetables. It's really an inspiring comment, I hope, to get you to try them out. We all use potatoes, but not always do we find beets and carrots and rutabagas and turnips and parsnips in our dishes. Try them out during the winter. They're inexpensive, they're a great source of nutrients, and they're absolutely delicious. Look for some great recipes using these root vegetables and expand your horizons. Give them a try. They'll be available all winter long, and store them in a nice, cool, dark place. They like high humidity. Store them away from onions, which like low humidity, but keep them probably in your refrigerator, or even if you have a near outdoor area in the winter, they would love that. Bon appetit.